The next kit I'm going to show you is called Sparkles. It's made up of 6 individual designs that are stitched on one piece of fabric, and once you've completed all your stitching, you then cut the designs and apply them to the cards. So the card kits and envelopes are in the kit, and they're all very easy stitches, maybe some lazy daisies, few French knots, lots of sparkly beads, and quite a lot of organza to give you texture. Just before we start to stitch, I'll just show you what's in the kit. So all the colours are on an organiser. They've got some wools, we've got some metallic threads, got some bead threads, lots of exciting colours. And then you've got a collection of organzas ready to use, all fabulous colours. And then you have one piece of fabric with all the individual designs on, and that's your starting point, and the instructions will show you where to start and how to put the organza on. The next part I'm going to show you is how to do the stitching and how to work the organzas. In your kit you'll get a collection of lovely organzas, different colours, and to create texture with them, we're just going to fray and distort some of the fabric. So you take the organza, it's a woven fabric, so if you choose the stretchy part of the fabric, then that's going to give you more distortion on the fabric. So I'm just going to take a little piece of that, and then you're just going to pull it and distort it, and that's going to give you an interesting layers of texture. Quite fun to do. And obviously when you put more colours over the top, you'll get new colours, so you can have a lot of fun with that. Once you've got your organzas on there, then you're ready to stitch, and this is a fun bit. So I'm just going to show you here. I've got my spring hoop on here just to keep all the threads and the fabrics. It's easier when you come to mount your work into the cards. So I'm just going to start off with, I'm just going to show you one of the stitches that I just love, and that's French knots. So you can put as many on or as few as you like. I've got my work in the hoop, and I'm just going to hold the thread, and I'm just above the surface, and then I'm going to go around once, twice, and then I'm going to take the needle point down, and as I push it through the fabric, just not exactly the same place, and then as the needle goes through, you can just tighten that thread, and that's just going to keep it around the needle, and then you just let that travel in on its own, and you'll get a lovely French knot. So if you want to, you can work a smaller knot by just winding the thread around once, and that's just going to give you a tiny knot without actually fastening off. So you can build those into columns. So in the instructions you'll find, if you've never done this before, you'll find step-by-step instructions, you'll find stitch diagrams, and there is actually a plan of work, so you'll see the order to do things in. But just remember to stitch all of your cards before you start putting them into your cards. Okay, I'm just going to try another stitch now. So we've got French knots. We've also got a stitch called Lazy Daisy. So this is a stitch, sometimes you can work it in a frame, other times best just holding the fabric in your hand. So you start off by placing the needle into the same place and just tilt the needle back onto the front, and you're going to just bring the needle back over onto the right side, tuck the thread underneath, and then you're going to pull the thread, and you're going to get one link of the chain, and then you're just going to take a little stitch over that just to keep that in place. So you can leave those as individual stitches, or you can rotate the stitch and you can go round and round and make a daisy, and I think these look really fabulous on the cards. So I tend to use just a few stitches, straight stitch, French knot, maybe a fly stitch, lazy daisy. You don't need many stitches to create a fabulous design. and that's just so easy to do. Really, really lovely. And then sometimes don't forget to stand back and look at his work. Admire your work, it's fun to do. You can show it off in the cards. So these are ideal if you want to send for a little present for somebody, or you want to send a card to somebody. So once you've got your loop, you're just going to bring the thread and then over the loop, and that's just going to hold it in position. And then you just turn your work slightly, just rotate it, and you're going to go all the way around. So where you're bringing the needle back onto the surface, that's the length of the petal. It looks great in 6 strands here, and you can complete that daisy. Now if it feels awkward to stitch, then just take it out of the frame and then put it back in later. So you're just going to fasten that off, and that's the daisy complete.